Charlie Kirk is dead. Shot down where he was speaking words, not laws, noise, not policy. And while I disagreed with him at nearly every turn, I do not celebrate his death. Death is too final. It's too cheap an answer for the questions of democracy. Men like Kirk should die of irrelevance, not martyrdom. They should fade into the background of history, forgotten like old campaign buttons, not made immortal by the sound of gunfire. Nietzsche warned us that complacency, not catastrophe, would be our undoing. The last man would anesthetize himself with poisons, trade risk for comfort, trade truth for pleasant dreams. What we saw yesterday was not the triumph of the overman, but the bankruptcy of freedom. A moment when one citizen silenced another with a bullet instead of an argument. There is no liberty in this, no strength, no joy, only the stink of spirit that Nietzsche promised would come when we no longer wrote or spoke with blood, but consumed each other's words idly until we grew sick of them. John Stuart Mill told us that even if the whole of humanity holds one opinion and a single person holds the contrary, humanity is no more justified in silencing that one voice than he would be in silencing all of humanity. Rosa Luxemburg sharpened it to the point of danger. Freedom is always and exclusively freedom for the one who thinks differently. George Orwell put plainly that liberty means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. And Chomsky, a man so reviled for defending the speech of those he despised, gave us this: if you do not believe in freedom for your enemies, then you do not believe in freedom at all. Charlie Kirk was not a legislator. He did not write laws. He did not cast votes on the House floor. He was a talker, a salesman, a political entrepreneur who commodified outrage and commercialized hate. His rhetoric was divisive because division paid his bills. He built an empire out of microphones and cameras, and his words had real consequences for real communities. And yet, even with all of that said, the man should have been answered with sharper words, better organizing a stronger vision for America, not with a bullet. Violence is not a rebuttal. It is a surrender. It is a confession that you cannot answer speech with anything but blood. Descartes wrote that we should conquer ourselves rather than fortune, that we should learn to change our desires rather than the order of the world. That is the discipline we lack in the aftermath of a killing like this. To hold our fire, to resist a quick blame, to let evidence lead. Marcus Aurelius gave us the ethics for days like this. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. And with his quiet mercy, Hemingway wrote that the world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong with the broken places. Charlie Kirk is not broken, he's gone. And the people who despised him most must now resist the temptation to become the very thing they abhor. Already opportunists are in front of cameras calling Democrats a party of murder, blaming millions for the act of one. But that's not justice, it's propaganda. It's the oldest trick of the herd, to use blood to bind people to fear. Well, I will not help them. I will not celebrate a bullet, nor will I mint a martyr. I will not give Charlie Kirk the honor of eternal relevance when irrelevance was the punishment he deserved. I will not join the mob that believes violence answers anything in a republic built on speech. Nietzsche said we must become robbers of the herd, breakers of the old tables, and creators of new ones. That work cannot be done with violence. It can only be done with words sharp enough to bleed, with truth spoken even when it shakes our own convictions. Freedom of speech means nothing when it is easy. It only lives when it protects the people we despise. That is the burden of liberty. It's the weight of democracy. So I grieve. I grieve for this country that keeps proving how fragile its freedoms are. But I recommit myself to the only revolution worthy of the name, not a revolution of bullets, but of words, of conscience, of creation. Because if we kill each other for opinions, there will be no one left to argue, and no republic left to keep.